In the previous few presentations, we have discussed the causes and consequences of non-reading habits or lack of reading habits among school students. We have also discussed the possible benefits of reading habits for school students. In the current presentation, we will discuss some of the strategies that are useful in developing reading habits among students. So what are some of the strategies that schools can do in order to develop reading habits among students? The first one is that there is need for provision of well-equipped reading spaces, libraries, and classrooms. So in many cases, students do not read because they do not have these provisions. They do not have well-equipped reading spaces, they do not have libraries and classrooms in schools. So this is something that is extremely important, where the school administration and the society in general, the state in particular, need to take steps to provide these basic facilities. Secondly, there should be timetable spaces for reading. So generally the timetable is subject oriented and exam oriented, and so the whole attention of the school authorities is on preparing students for exams and focusing on academics and on textbooks. Therefore, it is important that, because reading is important, it is important for schools to develop, to have spaces in the timetable for reading. Reading incentives, which could be monetary or which could be non-monetary incentives, such as incentives in terms of contributing towards students' grades or in general appreciation certificates, etc., is extremely important. Next, there should generally be reading competitions or book reviews. So schools should have these events on regular basis where there are competitions related to reading and to book reviews. Next, integration of reading into the curriculum and courses is extremely important. So although there is some reading content over there in courses, there should be perhaps a separate subject or subjects or substantial part of the curricular subject should be devoted to developing reading skills and reading habits among students. Next important thing is that the schools should develop reading events, and so interaction with writers and authors is also an important way for developing reading habits. So schools should generally try to invite writers and authors to schools and to have them interact with their students. Role modeling is also an important strategy for developing reading habits. Role models on the part of the teachers, role model on the part of the parents. So parents and teachers should be encouraged to present themselves as role models in terms of reading. Authentic assessment is extremely important, and that actually means that assessment that is not based on rote memorization, but where the actual skills, knowledge, and language skills of students are actually tested. That will compel students to learn language, to read on a larger level beyond their textbooks. And so authentic assessment is something that will help in terms of developing reading habits among students. Lastly, there should be creative writing competitions among students, and so their creative writing competitions will incentivize students to read beyond their courses and their subjects and their textbooks. So these are some of the ways in which schools can actually develop reading habits of or a general reading culture in their schools and reading habits among the students.